does that even mean, Bowers game?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to be checking out Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom from Stronghold Games. This is for 2 to 4 players, ages 7+, so it'll take you about 20 minutes to play, and in Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom, you are going to be Dr. Gloom making crazy creatures in your crazy creature creating station. There's a lot of words right there. It's a really kind of a themeless, family weight, lightweight filler game. But is it good? Let's open it up and I'll tell you about it. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom. First and foremost, we get our handy dandy rule sheet. It's about, probably about 2 pages, I'd say, full color, and it's very well done. It'll have you up and running in no time at all. Plenty of illustrations, pictures, all that sort of good stuff. And on the back, you just have some promotional stuff. So very well done rule booklet for a very simple game, and I can teach you how to play right now. So in the Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom, you are going to be, a mad scientist trying to get rid of all the cards in your hand. The theme doesn't really come across as well as you would like, but that's what you're going to be doing. There's going to be 4 different colored machines out here. Blue, green, yellow, and red, and you're going to be playing your cards next to those corresponding machines in the discard piles. The catch is, there's a plus on this side and a minus on this side, and depending on which side the machine is on, that dictates whether or not you're going to have to play a number that is higher than the current number of the discard pile or the number that is lower. If you can't, you lose your turn and it goes on to the next player's turn. So let's go over the components, then we'll get a little bit in the gameplay. We already showed you this. They're double-sided, plus and minus. Pretty simple. And then what you're going to get are these numbered cards, numbered 1 through 6. And the only thing you really need to pay attention to on any given card is the number, obviously, which is very important, and what's up here in the top and the bottom. This is how many penalty points you're going to take if this is in your hand at the end of a round, and you're going to be playing to X amount of rounds depending on how many players you have in the game. So if you have this card in your hand at the end of the round, that's worth -2 points for all intents and purposes. Some are worth 1, and some have this symbol right here. The 1s and the 6s have this symbol right here. Now this symbol is a very interesting symbol. They use it to balance out the game. If this card is in your hand at the end of the round, it doesn't grant you any bad stuff. However, this card could be very useful as they are on 1s and 6s, and this is what's called the genetic mutation. So if someone plays a genetic mutation right here, any other genetic mutation can be played on top of it, which means this is how 6s can go to 1s without him flipping over. Now, I mentioned that he's going to flip over from time to time. You're probably like, well, how does he flip over? It's quite simple. If someone ever plays doubles, so let's just say that someone plays a blue 5 right there, then someone else comes back and plays another blue 5, well, that means that they have the option to either flip over this guy right here or make someone draw a card. They get to pick someone and then they draw a card. So let's show you how the game is played, and you'll quickly understand what's going on here. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you might say, all right, I'm going to start off with a 5 just because I want to be a little bit of a jerk. That's going to make blue a little bit hard to play on. So then somebody else on their turn, they might play this red 2 just to get rid of it, get it out of your hand. Next player might say, all right, I'm going to put this red 4 on top of here. Next player will be like, oh, I got a red 5. And the next person will be like, oh, I don't have a red 3, but what I do have, I don't have a red 6, which is higher, but I can play this red 5, which allows me to flip this one over. So now that's a minus, which means that that red 3, perfectly viable card. But anywho, you're going to go until someone gets rid of all the cards in their hand, at which point you're going to tally up how many points, how many negative points each player has, and then you're going to repeat that over the course of X amount of rounds, depending on players, as I mentioned. Whoever has the fewest amount of those points at the end of the game is going to be the winner of Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom, and that in a nutshell is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom from Stronghold Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game has a very restricted player count at 2 to 4 players. Next, and this is kind of a double-edged sword, the game is very simple. And while I like this, looking at it from a family game perspective, looking at it from a game night filler game, I don't think I can really recommend this too much as a game night filler game just because of how simple the game is. On your turn, you really only have like 2 or 3 decisions. It's like, do I play this card? Do I play that card? Do I want to make somebody flip over a card? Or do I want to make this plus to a minus, or this minus into a plus, or do I make somebody draw a card? But other than that, there's really not too many choices in this game. It's not a meaty game by any stretch of the imagination. It also is repetitive. It's one of those games where you're just supposed to tally up your score, and then play another round, and tally up your score, and then play another round, and so on and so forth, which is going to be a turn off some people. And the things you're doing in the round are also going to be very repetitive, as I mentioned, because you're just going to be playing cards. Also, it comes in a tin. That's a turn-off to some people. I personally like the tin. It's got a nice raised front, which is cool. Kind of makes the artwork pop out, but still. Themeless. The game is pretty themeless. They tried with the tin and with the artwork and everything, but it's still a themeless game, and that is very evident. You don't feel like you're making monsters or anything like that. Any other cons I have with the game? No, not really. As long as you go into this game knowing that it's very, very light, I definitely can recommend Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom. And there's a couple big reasons why. First and foremost, this is pure and simple a family/older children's game. You know, once they get to be able to at 8, 9, 10, I think they can play this by themselves. And that's because it is so simple to learn, it's so simple to teach. The mechanisms are so incredibly streamlined. There are no special cards. I mean, the most special cards in the entire game are the 1 and 6, which have the genetic mutations, which, by the way, is a fantastic balancing mechanism there. Because when I first was reading the rules, I was like, oh, once somebody puts a bunch of 6s out there, it kind of screws everybody else over. But at the same time, you can just put a 1 on top of it, and I liked that addition to the game. You know, and I really would like this, I think, a little bit more, though, if it had extra cards in it, like extra variant cards that you could throw into the mix that would maybe just add a little bit more gaminess to it, because I feel like it could have the potential to come out on a game night if it had, like, you know, just a couple 18 extra cards or 10 extra cards as part of an expansion that would just add an extra little twist to the game. But in its current form, not a game night game, at least not for my game night, but still a great family game and a great younger children's game. So that is Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom. Good artwork, like the tin, nice components, simple mechanisms, easy to learn, easy to teach. One that I can recommend checking out if you're in the market for a family game. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below or in the comments below. Let me know if you were a mad scientist and you had to devote your life to one mad scientisty thing. What would be that one mad scientisty thing that you would try to do first? For me personally, I would try and create an evil robotic maid who would secretly steal all your information and sell it to Mark Zuckerberg. But that still would be awesome. I'd totally take that. I don't care if she steals all my information, as long as she, you know, does the laundry and cleans and does the dishes. That'd be great. So I guess that's really not that evil. I guess it would just be like an evil, you know, generic killing robot. But let me know in the comments below, what kind of mad scientisty thing would you create first? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.